Heine Faust of BMW. Heine, good afternoon. And when you've had a chance to dismount and all these other motorcycles have ridden past, I'm going to borrow just a couple of moments of your time because I'd like to learn a little bit more about the bike you're riding. Great style, by the way. Now, as many of you will have read, this year our theme here at Eleganza is back to the 1970s. The jet set return, so that we're not to the style of the culture of the 1970s, thankfully not the food, e si tratta della BMW Turbo del 1972 guidata da Ulrich Knieps con Danilo Zucchetti. Ulrich Knieps, che è il capo della BMW Classic. Danilo Zucchetti, don't run away, we want to have a quick word with you first. Danilo Zucchetti, which one excites you the most? Which has particularly caught your eye so far?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, welcome everybody here at Concorso de Eleganza. You are absolutely right, you asked the wrong one. And the reason was, this is a car that shows a lot of safety.
Per il concorso, secondo te?
Beh, sicuramente ogni anno che non piove per me è un vintage, quindi...
Of course, Ulrich Knieps, the head of BMW Group Classic, and the... Gentlemen, thank you. Appropriate enough, starting with the oldest car of the event, it's the 1925 Farman A6B. We're back to the roaring 1920s. This is before survive in the world. Just four, and every single one of them is different. The Farman brothers, Italian Rolls-Royce, they were cars made in Milan. In most cases, the coachwork also came from Milan, usually from Castagna. One of the famous appearances of such a car was in the famous film Sunset Boulevard, where the lead character was a forgotten silent screen actress who, of course, drove an Isotta Fraschini. This particular car was actually sold new to the famous newspaper baron, William Randolph Hearst, himself the subject of a film, Citizen Kane. Now, Mr. Pavlou, the princely sum of €250. He was called up, sadly, to military service shortly afterwards. And thank you. This is a car you do not want to put. Fellow Pavlou, congratulations, what a handsome motor car. The Italian Rolls-Royce and gilded bird cages. Mr. Pierce brought out his partners. That's perfect, just there will do nicely. Thank you very much. And look at that wonderful, another distinctive feature of Pierce Arrow for many, many years, integrated into the front wings rather than freestanding as most other motor car manufacturers had. The irony is that outlawed in New York. Not quite sure how the fact that they were fared in could be confusing to other motorists, assuming those motorists were approaching the interior. I won't ask how many ostriches died to create it. And I like the gloves, very smart. Try to admire, try to have a look at the interiors. From 1936, Lancia Astura, third series by Giuseppe Bruni. Se le posso chiedere di spegnere il motore, grazie, altrimenti dovremmo bisogno di una nuova giuria per l'anno prossimo. The Lancia Astura, this was the last word in luxury motoring in late 1930s Italy. Unlike previous Lancias, which used Greek names from the Greek alphabet, such as Kappa, and subsequent ones which used Roman roads as their names, Aurelia, Flaminia, and so on. The Astura was actually named after a castle near the town of Eleganza. They are certainly epic in their scale. I think, just over 200 of these cars made, and a third included Emperor Hirohito, Kaiser Wilhelm, and other.
Annette Röckler is giving the prize is for the best overall appearance of cars, drivers, and passengers by the jury.
Congratulations. So the team who have matched their dress best to the motor car which they're driving. Maybe an admiral's uniform up in Las Vegas before being restored in Germany, and it now belongs to a Russian collection, one of the first and most important Russian collections. Times, it won the Mille Miglia twice, it won the Targa Florio, It was the absolute last word in performance motoring in the early 1930s, and this particularly with no completely flat part. Exquisite taste. It's very good of you to bring the car all the way from California and to share it with us today, and I have to say, doesn't it look absolutely for a very similar purpose. This is the Mercedes-Benz 380k Sports Roadster, built for Prince Max von Schaumburg-Lippe. Comes to us today from the collection of Saulius Carosas from Latvia. I told you it was a very integration. He was a racing driver of some note, and he had this car, best known for very extravagant, stylish creations, but in this case they built a very pared-down roadster with just Spartan wings, no running bumpers, and the reason for this is that he intended to enter the car in competition. Government of the period though, so he later emigrated to America. Great car, fascinating story. Thank you very much for sharing it with us. Thank you, Michael. For us whilst we say a few words about this, because this is the rare Queen's racy younger sister in wool, the same as the rear compartment. Normally the front seats of these cars were upholstered in leather for the chauffeur because it was harder wearing, and the back would be aver portato la Rolls-Royce Phantom 4, la più rara di tutte le Rolls-Royce, una macchina costruita per la sorella della regina d'Inghilterra, la principessa Margaret. She was very racy, Princess Margaret. She was yes, I think I knows a thing or two about cars. Bernd Pischetsrieder. Good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Pischetsrieder. Thank you for cars, because no longer was Rolls-Royce in the 1960s the preserve of just aristocrats and old money. Here we're into an era when she was a Georgian princess. She was the best friend of Barbara Hutton, the world's well up in a similarly fast ladies collection, that of Mrs. Ivan. That champagne in the back looks very good, by the way. It's one of the few better cars to start the class than this exquisite Ferrari 212 Europa from 1952 of Mr. Bradley Calkins from the US era when no two motor cars were the same, and they really were built like suits, made all the way from the USA to share with us here today at Este. And it's another one of those cars that jump più appropriata per la Ferrari 212 berlinetta vignale di Bradley Calkins, Ulrich Knips, il capo della BMW Classic, che dà il premio di classe, no, scusate, il premio per il restauro più sensibile a Bradley Calkins